of a Grand Prix Vancouver 2016. Go, 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 go! Hello everyone, welcome to the feature match area for the last round of Swiss action here on the first draft of day 2. We've got Shuhei Nakamura on the far side, the left-hand side of your screen as you look now, against Hanley. Shuhei, 9-2 now. He came into the draft at 8-1, so he's 1-1 here. Hanley, meanwhile, was 9-0, so he's also 1-1, but has a record above Shuhei's right now because you can only play within your pod. Also in the feature match area, Nathan Holliday against Danny Goldstein. They're both at 9 wins. Adam Jansen's against Sean Peterson, both at 10 wins. And we might get a chance at the back end of the round. We'll see how this goes. Essentially an elimination match for Matt Costa because he is at 8 wins and 3 losses now. Who's his end boss? Paulo, Vitor, Damo, Rosa. Nice, easy win for Costa, surely.
He's not actually the end boss. There's still 3 rounds after this. But
well, the first of 4 end bosses.
Indeed.
Because Costa must now win 4 in a row. So, let's get into our main match. It's Shuhei against Hanley. And Shuhei Nakamura has an embodiment of fury on the battlefield. 4-3. And that is going to spit out potentially a succession of free 3-3s.
Yeah, it's a good card, but it's not supposed to be your first play of the game.
Yeah. Hanley, meanwhile, on the other side, has Blinding Drone, has Gravity Negator, and now, for 4 mana, a 3-1, so it needs to do something more than that, and it has its Saddleback Lagak, counter on the Gravity Negator, counter on the Blinding Drone. And worth mentioning that, as you can see from his land mix, he does have access to Colorless Mana, Ruins of Oran Reef. They're hiding between the 2 forests.
Yeah, I mean, if Cohort was the mechanic of yesterday, support seems to be evolving into today's star mechanic.
Yeah, and I'm really glad to see support doing a lot of work because it's new and it's interesting to evaluate, and it seems to be doing plenty of good stuff, which is great.
Yeah, I feel like both Cohort and support are playing out a little better than maybe they looked at first glance.
Mm-hmm. Shuhei with a full 7 cards in hand. Is going to bounce a land, which actually has plenty of synergy, of course, with Embodiment of Fury. Reaches out to kill the Gravity Negator. And then here's Zada's Commander, which right now doesn't have an ally to do anything with, but does have 2 first strike power, which is why a card like Saddleback Lagak doesn't look particularly exciting just on its stats. Hanley, 1, 2, 3, 4. Reasonable Giant Mantis, but not particularly exciting.
Wow, there's some top end in Hanley's deck.
Okay.
Looking at the deck list, he's got a Plated Crusher in there. You know, he's got Science Summoners to accelerate. You know, Stalking Drones. He's got Anissa's Judgment in the main deck.
Right. Yep.
So the big stuff, the big payoffs include Part the Water Veil.
Oh, really?
Yes, sir.
Oh, that's cool. The spirit of Luis is strong. Shuhei's landed a Kozilek's Channeler here. Meanwhile, Hanley, as we mentioned, had access to Colorless Mana, so Blinding Drone is turned on tapping.
Hanley's from Seattle, playing his 2nd Grand Prix ever.
Oh, that's awesome.
Went to Oakland and got bit by the bug.
Yeah.
Happens to the best of us.
I couldn't comment on that, could I?
His last match yesterday, trying to get to 9-0, he defeated Shuhei Nakamura. It's a rematch.
Sweet.
Yeah, rematch.
That's awesome.
And we've mentioned before, obviously, every time Shuhei sits down, there's history on the line. His 27 GP top 8s is 1 off the all-time record, which Olivier Ruel still holds at 28. And his 7 GP wins is in a 3-way tie for the most Grand Prix wins with You know this off the top of your head.
Well, Yu Watanabe.
What if I told you it's somebody who has the same number of Pro Tour wins as Grand Prix wins?
Oh, okay.
7 apiece for Kai Buddha.
So Shuhei now, thanks to the Brood Monitor, has started to go very wide in his green-red deck. You'll see that Brood Monitor get drafted at the end of this round, because we'll show you that pack, where it all came from. I'm going to predict that that Brood Monitor went 6th. I think he gets Brood Monitor 6th.
Did we see it in John Stern's hands?
I think John Stern opened it.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Yeah.
2 players between them, though. That'd be 5th pick.
No, it was going the other way, wasn't it? It's passing left, so John went all the way round. John opened, and then it goes all the way up the far side of the
Math
table.
is hard.
Yeah, it really is. More of Kozilek joins the Shuhei Nakamura side of the board, which is getting very wide indeed. We've got Embodiment of Fury up the top, then it's Zada's Commando, then it's more of Kozilek, then it's Brood Monitor, then it's the Brood that it's monitoring.
And there's still a channeler hiding amongst the lands. Blinding Drone's doing his best to hold down the fort. Shuhei has not, in fact, gotten in an attack. 2 cards to Shuhei, 3 for Hanli.
And we are starting to see that grindy pattern of boards clogging up. Shuhei, of course, is getting a Scion every turn from Beyond.
Oh, nice. What card is that?
From Beyond.
No, the
sorry.
one you just played.
It's Rot Shambler.
Ah, okay.
Which turns out, that laugh, by the way, spells synergy.
Indeed. Rotchambler and From Beyond are pretty good friends, I guess.
You know, I did about 80 drafts of BFC in Magic Online.
Uh-huh.
I was physically capable of picking From Beyond 0 times.
What?
I wanted to play with that card so badly.
That's not possible.
I know. I literally never got to pick it.
Huh.
Someone was just randomly in before me always. You know, there's always that one rare that you've just never seen.
Sure.
I mean, yeah, you've been beaten by it plenty.
Sure.
But nope.
All right,
Never had the
Shuhei
chance.
finally gets his attack on. Maul of Kozilek is ready to go over and brawl. Double block would, in theory, kill the Maw. But pretty much every combat trick in the format would save it.
And also he just goes colorless and goes, I'll make it as big as I need it to be.
Well, you can't make the toughness bigger.
No. But in terms of taking out whatever the
it's a
blockers
trade.
are. Yeah.
All right, here's 5 power, says Hanli. I would like to kill your Maw of Kozilek. And yeah, at this point, Shuhei can't... He doesn't get anything unless he starts sacrificing.
Right.
So he's going to go...
But there's benefits to that with the Rot Shambler anyway.
He's going to... Decides, okay, he's going to kill Gravity Negator. Trades in 1 Scion for the colorless mana necessary to trade for Gravity Negator. And I mean, Shuhei knew that was essentially offering up his Maw as a trade. He's like, I would just like to clean up this board a little bit. I'm the one who's going wide with a bunch of small creatures. If I can trade off my medium-sized creature for your medium-sized creature, that's just good for me.
From Beyond, of course, is a card that's got worse in this format for a couple of reasons. One, there are fewer synergies with the Scions running around that you're creating with it. But also, the enchantment class of permanent is something that now people are main decking against in some ways, partly because of the 2 uncommons, the Isolation Zone and the Containment Membrane. Things like Felidar Hub are starting to be a factor in, maybe I'm just going to run this because there are enchantments I want to get rid of. But it's still really good.
All right. This time, Shuhei says, I offer you a 4/4 and a 3/3 that I can make bigger. Now what do you want to do? Hanli's colorless mana is actually kind of overloaded here. It's Oran Reef. Right. He did not tap to put a counter on Stalking Drone. And he did not tap with Blinding Drone. I think he's decided he needs a pump here.
So 2/4 and 3/1 in front of the 4/4 is his first offering in the block dress rehearsal. Yeah, and that is his performance in the end.
And he winds up just not using his colorless mana. Oh, this turn there is a trick. It's Reality Hemorrhage.
And this time, that is overwhelming denial back the other way. Saying no. Hard counterspell.
Yeah, still a 2 for 2.
Yeah.
Okay. So Hanli did wind up using his Ruins of Oran Reef. Not for anything but colorless mana as generic mana.
Yeah.
Had some options with that Ruins. There were only 4 things he could do that turn.
Sure. Versatility, it's overrated.
But he did take 3, so Shuhei has finally gotten through for damage. And again, Shuhei is just sort of whittling his way through Hanli's defenses.
So here's a full-price containment membrane, which is absolutely fine.
Yeah, do what you gotta
I do not mind paying that 2 extra at that point. Another token arrives from beyond.
What Shuhei got left to attack with?
Apparently nothing.
Was that a go or was that an
I believe
attack?
that was a go. Oh, maybe. Oh, okay.
Commando has no ally friends. Just kind of sitting and watching the festivities.
Right, no. And
Okay, now we're wide enough, and Hanli's down to only 1 creature with more than 1 toughness, so the Scions are going to get in there, along with the Brood Monitor.
so potential trade, kill off a Scion.
Take 3. Does Shuhei have any more tricks?
Two cards sitting at the top of the screen that Shuhei might decide to pick up, but it looks like he's just, nope, I'm comfortably winning this. So, because there's more Scions where those came from. And then once we're into main phase 2, Seer's Lantern, which is not abysmal for him, but it's something that Hanley will worry about much later in the game, if there is a much later in the game.
It's totally fine for Shuhei here. The
Yeah.
Scry is actually quite good.
Sure.
I mean, no impact on the board this turn, but I think Shuhei's pretty happy to have that Scry ability all of a sudden. It's one of the more controversial cards in the Nagoya winning deck as well. Like, it's 16 land and a Seer's Lantern in that super aggressive green-white support deck. It's like
Kite Sail Scout.
Yeah, no, 3 1-drops, 3 shoulder-to-shoulder, 6 total support cards. Deck looks great. But does it want Seer's Lantern? It's like it activates Stalking Drone and it scries, but it's not exactly a beatdown card. I don't know. It's an interesting call. Deck is, 16 land with Pilgrim's Eye and Seer's Lantern.
It's ace. Topping out the curve.
There's no. It's in the middle of the curve,
know.
which is the problem.
Right. Okay. The other version of containment membrane, tightening coils.
Oh, scry to the top.
Token time. And what is it that Shuhei decided he would quite like?
Wow, Hanley attacking with his Stalking Drone last turn. He doesn't win if he sits there and plays defense. So he's decided to try to chip away a little bit here and there.
Stone Fury. I'd like your tap man to go away.
Wow. Your blocker, too, in this case.
Yeah.
So here's 6. But Shuhei's just maneuvered this whole game expertly.
Yes.
I mean, I can't point to the one special thing, but there's a lot of decisions over the course of a lot of turns, and just every one of them feels like he's just maneuvered this game into this position he's now in, where he seems to just have an overwhelming advantage.
I would certainly have done a lot of similar things to Shuhei. I would certainly have had a free 1-1 every single turn since turn 4. That would.
You're capable of remembering the front read trigger?
Yeah, that would have been high on my list of things to do this game. And I think it would have gone well for me as well. Kozilek's Pathfinder now. So that's... you and I were talking about the value of that card in draft as a sort of sense of, it's not super exciting, but is it going to make the deck? Here's Jawar Avenger, 3/3 flyer. Once again, Surge not really coming together for Han Lee, but then he's not in the colors where Surge is really meant to be happening.
Yeah, I mean, 3/3 flying is worth almost 5 mana. Used to be a good deal for 5 mana, but that was a long time ago.
It did. Seek the Wilds. So let's take a look. So Mina and Den Wildborn there.
Nice card.
Chance to play an extra land a turn, which is relevant.
Funny, all those Scions could give their lives to make Pathfinder unblockable.
Yeah.
He'll settle for tapping Seer's Lantern and then attacking with all the Scions. I mean, this Houndley has to have a card, right? Oh, he's gonna sack the summoning sick one, so you can't block Pathfinder. You must kill Pathfinder with an instant, or it kills you all by itself.
Or you are just dead.
And even if you do, you still got all these Scions to deal with.
Let's shuffle up and try again.
Game 1 to Shuhei Nakamura.
And Shuhei, we know that the third loss absolutely rules you out of top 8 contention here. So many players.
From Pod 1, you probably get in with 2 losses.
Right.
Like, everybody who starts today on Pod 1 is just going to have better tiebreakers than people who started on lower pods.
We're going to head across town to one of my favorite players, part of the Global Ginger Alliance, Nathan Holliday. And he is 1-0 up.
Wow. Imara Entangler on turn 2 curves into shoulder to shoulder. It's there's only one creature to put a counter onto, but that's an attack for 4 on turn 3.
Yep.
And draw a card, of course.
Yes. Against an empty board currently. 2 teams represented from the Pro Tour. Danny Goldstein, friends with Van, of course, if you haven't read Melissa DeTora's article, about a pretty serious topic, a very nasty car accident that happened coming out of the Super Sunday series last week. But of course, it's about a lot more than that. It always is, and a really nice article. And
Danny is from Portland. You see the Draft PDX. That's the same team as Gabe Carlton Barnes.
That's right.
That's the Portland Draft Club. And Danny drove up from Portland to Seattle to pick up his friend from the hospital. He's the transportation here to Vancouver.
Yeah. Nathan Holliday, who has had a very quiet open to the game, now with 4 mana. Obviously got plenty of action still in hand. It's going to go with Grove Rumbler.
Nathan hasn't done nothing. He did kill the scariest Umara Entangler I have seen to date.
Sure. So his Tightening Claws the other way.
Nice turn.
Yeah, there we go.
That's how you draw up Surge.
I love Surge. I really do. I even like it when it doesn't work because it just makes it sweeter when it does.
Negate your 4-drop and play a 3/3 flyer. Pretty good turn.
Efficient. Nathan Holliday, 4 Grand Prix top 8s, winner in Grand Prix San Diego 2013. He likes his deck a lot. Apparently that Grove Rumbler, it's not the only one.
Did Nathan come in 7-2 overnight? Are they playing to win the pod? Or are these guys 1-1 today?
I believe they are 1-1. have a little
I
peek
mean, to
for
stump
you.
you. It's been hard. The first time I've actually stumped you. You don't just
Yeah,
have every round
couldn't-
standings memorized.
I couldn't. No, I know it's shameful. Nathan Holiday was 8-1.
8-1 overnight, so they're 1-1.
Yep. Yeah, coming in from pod 3.
Got it.
And actually, you say draft PDX. Cade Carlton Barnes was also in that pod. So two teammates
Hilarious.
there. Yeah. And Sam Pardy.
Okay.
So you can imagine that maybe those two have got themselves up to play for the pod.
Well, no, they played last
7.
round. They were on camera.
Oh, right. Okay. I didn't see the last
Yeah,
one,
that was
so-
our match. The
Oh,
two
there
of
you
them,
go.
It was a really good one, too.
Okay. So, yeah, same pod from pod 3. So one of these two will be knocked out of top 8 contention by the end of round 12. One will still be very much alive. And Nathan Holiday has said, you know, that tightening coils, here we are. I talk about enchantment removal. Let's get rid of that tightening coils.
Wow.
And let's make my Grove Rumbler rumble. All right, so Nathan Holiday's 1-0 up. Someone else who is 1-0 up is into action here in round number 12 as we get back to Shuhei Nakamura against Han Lee.
Dueling 2 drops.
Yeah, and that's an Immobilizer Eldrazi out of the
Indeed it
gates
is.
for Shuhei Nakamura, opposite Stalking Drone for Han Lee. Crumbling Vestige has just appeared, Han Lee on the play, and that is the Crumbling Vestige with the Classic
Awkward.
come into play tapped. Now, does that mean that he just really wants the colorless for
No,
Stalking
it means
Drone?
it's his last land, and he was trying to save
Okay.
it to be the blue mana for the 4 drops that he's holding,
Okay.
and he just didn't want to not play a land, and now he's got problems.
And drawing Plated Crusher off the top.
Does not help. Still no blue mana, still no 4th mana.
And we've got Relentless Hunter added to Shuhei Nakamura's board. Now, he could take a couple of turns from now, he's going to spend that 3 mana to pump and send. One has to assume.
Stalking Drone's doing a decent job of holding off the world.
Yeah.
So Crumbling Vestige does help him there. Still, he really was hoping it would be a lot. Turn on one of these blue spells before he had to play it.
Shuhei could have, had he wanted to get the Hunter in, he could obviously have just attacked, and there isn't a good block there because he can just activate it and turn it into a 4/4.
True.
And the Stalking Drone would just be a 3/4. So Shuhei actually making the Sears Lantern before combat?
Well, I think he may have been afraid of a trick. Like if he
sure.
makes that play,
Yeah, sure.
there's 3 untapped mana on the other side.
Fine. So Vines of the Recluse,
Right.
for
Any kind of trick
example,
would eat his
and
4/4.
then yeah, that's fine. Shuhei, though, well ahead, and Hanley into discard mode. Won't be taking extra turns apart the Water Veil this game. And will be lucky to get extra turns or any turns in a game 3 because this is looking like Crushington Bears. Not Bears in the Magic sense, because that would be 2/2s. This is 3/3 and 4/4 with the capacity to get bigger, and indeed much bigger, because the activation, you can do that. And here's Mina and Den. Yep. Nathan Holiday fans, your boy's on camera about 30 seconds from now, I'm going to guess. Give or take. Nah, maybe less. Shuhei Nakamura advances to 10-2. We'll see how his last pack pulls together for you. Hanley
he
is
sits
also
down
10-2.
with a draft. If he 3-0s his draft, he's probably in the top 8.
Yep.
Historic top 8, number 28 to tie Olivier Ruel is what Shuhei is about to sit down for.
Right. So Nathan Holiday and Danny Goldstein, 1-1 in their draft.
So Danny won that game.
Will face off for game number 3. That's what we will bring you next.
And Hunley still live for top 8.
Absolutely, because he had the loss to give at 10-1.
Live for the Pro Tour spot, too.
Yeah.
11 a.m. modern round 2 postings are going up. Please make way for the judge. Find your seats promptly.
Here we go then. 5, 6, 7.
Modern round 3.
So away we go. Holiday having lost game 2, gets to be on the play, as he chooses. It could be on the draw, but chooses play. Nothing on turn 2. Goldstein blue-white has the first play.
Umara Entangler is back. Yeah, there's not really a prowess deck in this format. Umara Entangler looks like it wants to be in with a bunch of other prowess creatures and instants. And certainly the blue-red deck can be the instant deck. You know, maybe you got the uncommon 1/3 hasty prowess. The other thing Umara Entangler has going for it, and which comes up a lot more in the blue-white deck, is it is an ally.
Yeah, it's the only blue ally. It replaces Coral Helm Guide from Battle of Zendikar as the only blue ally. And of course, Scythe Master is up next for Goldstein, so he's curving out just fine. Nathan Holiday also has 2 creatures, though has only cast the 1 spell. And here's a point where Core Scythe Master sort of replacing, if you like, Core Castigator. Well, Core Scythe Master could be blocked by the Scion, but it still wouldn't kill it because the protection this time for the slightly brittle Scythe Master is First Strike.
Interesting. There's not actually much in the way of allied synergy in Danny's deck, but there are 3 Umara Entanglers.
Okay.
He's got a good curve. I mean, he's blue-white beatdown is essentially what this deck is. It's interesting.
Giant Mantis at 4.
Reflector Mage is kind of a great beatdown creature,
okay.
right?
Yep.
A couple of sweepaways. Get the blinding drone containment membrane synergy.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting because I'm trying to work out who would feel they were ahead on the basis of what the decks are trying to do.
Right.
And partly I kind of think, well, if I'm Danny, I'm thinking that the extra mana that Nathan's spending on things, because they're probably a little bit bigger, means that my tempo plays are going to be a little more effective. But then on the other side, I'm looking at Nathan and thinking, well, you're making things, you've got a 2-1 and a 3-1. My game is about, here's a Relentless Hunter that's 3/3 and turns into 4/4 trample. I've got Mina and Den. I'm going to multiple Grove Rumblers, 3/3s, 5/5s. And that being bigger is just going to matter in the end. And I'm not sure which of those should turn out to be true, and obviously we don't know which one will.
I think Nathan's winning.
Right, okay.
Danny is the beatdown, and we've played 5 turns, and his opponent's still at 20.
Right.
I mean, the way this match plays out, you're on, Umara Entanglers and Tricks. Nathan Holiday is on big creatures. I mean, not only does he has 2 copies of Relentless Hunter, he has some decent removal. He's even got a Fall of the Titans and a couple Reality Hemorrhages in his deck. Like, the longer the game goes, Nathan's the one with the bigger creatures that are going to be able to brawl later. Nathan's also the one with the better bombs, including Chandra, the Flame Caller.
There is Nathan Holiday.
He's got a Fall of the Titans. He's got a Kozilek's Return. Yeah, I can see why he likes this deck. He's got a Tyrant of Valakut.
Okay. Chance to surge that down to just the low bargain price of 3 red.
Oh, it's such a great deal at that, though. You only get the Lightning Bolt if you play it for search.
Yes.
That's the key.
News of Matt Costa, who we've been following.
Yeah. Paired against Paulo with 3 losses and is back against the wall if he wants a Pro Tour invite.
So,
what's the news?
Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to send you to the text coverage.
What?
Because Melissa DeTora got
Yeah.
to sit down with Matt Costa and go through his draft. So yet another draft that we get to see in all its detail.
Wow, here it is, Dragon Tyrant.
Yeah, okay, here it is.
Sorry, Tyrant of Valakut. I keep calling him Dragon Tyrant. Kill that one. You were saying?
Costa beat Paulo.
Wow.
So that 1 bullet dodged. So now at 9 and 3.
He sits down to draft for a Pro Tour spot.
Yes, it's an RPTQ top 8.
It is indeed.
If you
will.
will.
No, it's an old school PTQ top 8.
An old school PTQ.
You have to win
top
this
8.
one.
Yeah, this is just straight
old school PTQ top 8 for Matt Costa coming right up. Oh, I didn't realize this. Danny Goldstein is in fact qualified.
Yes,
for OGW.
That's right.
He won an RPTQ.
Mm-hmm.
Very nice in Portland.
Yep.
So we'll see him next weekend in Atlanta. That's awesome.
Yes, we will. And amongst the action. Whether we'll see him in the top 8 here is less clear because the 3rd loss is fatal in terms of the top 8. The winner here gets to draft again. And just to avoid confusion, we talked about Matt Costa at 9-3 being live. His goal is not 13-2 for the top 8 here. His goal is 12-3, which will give him the pro points he needs. Wow, Royals Retribution now for the round. Go away.
Still a 2-for-1.
Right, sure. But nonetheless,
Yeah.
a big, you do
Play
what you
on.
can. But Costa, if he can get to 12-3, will get the pro points he needs to be in to join his teammates, one of the great teams of all time, the Pantheon, at Pro Tour of the Gatewatch in Atlanta. So here's Ondu Rising.
Prowess trigger.
Mm-hmm.
Land.
Any responses? Earlier in this round, Shuhei Nakamura advanced to 1-1 on the weekend against Han Lee.
Yes, vengeance for his round 9 first loss of the tournament.
Which means they are now both at 10-2. Here's a reality hemorrhage to take out a Nakamura entangler. Now the Ondu Rising is complete, and Goldstein has to decide what to attack with. Both. Okay. So right now, that Entangler dies to Giant Mantis.
Which Nathan knows, the Tanny must know. Doesn't know exactly what the trick is.
It's
Oh,
dazzling
light.
reflection. Dazzling reflection. It's a little hard to tell in the glare, which is a fantastic flavor moment.
But
Fall of the Titans.
goodbye. Surges it out, 2 targets. Wow.
Yes. Nathan Holiday, well on his way to 2-1. We're not going to lie. The matches haven't been super close so far here in round 12. We love.
I didn't know it was a foil, Chandra. Is that foil or is that just the art? It looks shiny.
Yep. 3, 6, 8, 11. Boom. Back next turn. Reflect a major way, a Giant Mantis. This is the no one cares you're going to die voice.
Gets another turn on camera.
Ah. Up we go.
Indeed.
And just going to pop these guys in. Do another 6. They're going to go away, but others will return, most likely. Anything for Danny? A handshake. All right, Nathan Holiday goes to 10-2. Danny Goldstein won't be winning this tournament. He will still potentially be winning cash prizes and pro points.
Indeed.
And you can see that where we are heading is to Adam Jansen and Sean Peterson. Great stuff. We've timed it very nicely. Thanks to Neil Rigby, our life bar operator in the feature match area, bringing you all the scores on the doors. And Jansen will be there next week in Atlanta.
He is the captain of Hot Sauce Games. 1 GP top 8 on his resume. Sean Peterson is local from Burnaby.
Oh, right. That is close.
Doesn't travel often, but this would not be his first Grand Prix Vancouver top 8, should he make it.
Oh, wow. Fantastic.
His top 8 from Vancouver in 2012.
All right, let's do this thing. It's game number 3 here in round 12. Adam Jansen opens up on Sludge Crawler. And will attack and pump. And, oh look, it's Ingest, which is the first time I've been able to say that and refer to it meaning a card exiled and potential fodder for later. But now we have Stalking Drone from Sean Peterson. Jansen will not offer up the Sludge Crawler to come in. Instead, it'll be Akoum Flameseeker with the Goblin Rummager ability. Once you have 2 allies, you can cohort and then discard a card. That's the first bit, and then you get to draw a card.
There are some giant monsters in Sean Peterson's deck.
Mm-hmm.
He the Stalking Drone, blocking up the ground, trading awesome creatures. That is just what Sean wants to do here.
Okay.
I'm just the first column of his deck list goes Conduit of Ruin, Eldrazi Devastator, Omnath.
Oh, for
Locus of
goodness
Rage.
sake. Okay.
That's the
Right.
first column. Now I'll keep looking.
Okay. Now I feel like I'm watching a different game of Magic than what I thought I was watching. Right. Okay.
3 Scion Summoners to power those out. Mina and Den to power those out. Couple lead by examples, give him some tricks. It's a Relentless Hunter as well. Pretty good looking deck. Oh, the Scythe Leopard will be, seems like friends with Mina and Den.
Indeed. So now we do have a second ally. So Cohort is online for Adam Jansen. He's got Zada's Commando, which this turn can activate the Akoum Flameseeker. But once that turn is passed, then we're into a little end-of-turn ping action should Jansen decide. Adam Jansen very much part of a team. It's Team Jansen, and the other member of Team Jansen is his son. His son always provides, I'm not sure what Jansen is going to play at the Pro Tour next week, but if there are any tokens involved, his son will be making them.
Oh, that's great.
His son does the art for all Jansen's tokens, and so he's come to Pro Tours with soldiers, he's come with angels, he's come with scions, and so who knows what's in the deck box from Team Jansen this coming weekend. But yeah, there's some really cool stuff, and you know, son gets older and the tokens keep getting better, and it's a really nice little thing.
Boulder Salvo got pointed at Sludge Crawler, not either of the allies.
Mm-hmm. Any sense of why that might be?
I mean, the Sludge Crawler does have the ability to get big enough to get bigger. I mean, I guess it does scale with the game a little bit. I brought it up, though, because it is a little bit surprising.
You were surprised. Okay, fine.
Especially when they've got exactly 2 allies, both with cohort abilities. Like, killing either of them turns off the other's cohort, at least in the short term.
Kozilek's Channeler to thoroughly gum up the ground. Rotshambler is not threatening to do great work just yet.
So I went to look. I'm like, what is he powering out with Channeler? Is it just like the 4/4 on top of his curve?
Mm-hmm.
No, there's...
oh, there's big on Jansen's side as well?
A little bit.
Here's Relentless Hunter. 1 red-green. Activation's 1 red-green. It's 3/3. Very neat and tidy on the 3s. Nice clean design. Firemantle Mage is sitting in hand for Sean Peterson, looking at some potential attack that lets him through for a lot, but that's a long way off being engineered at the moment.
The top of Adam Jansen's curve, by the way, the
Yes.
thing Channeler can fuel is Ulamog.
Oh.
The ceaseless
Okay.
hunger.
Okay.
Saying enough of this Kozilek stuff.
Note to
This is
Neil.
still my world.
Note to Neil. Get the table reinforced. Conduit of Ruin. Eldrazi Devastator. Yeah, there's going to be some beef down the line then.
Potentially. Did he just Conduit of Ruin and put the card in his hand? Accidentally?
Oh. Oh, God.
I wasn't watching all the mechanics of the shuffle, but I think that's what happened. Yeah, the judge is just like, look, we know exactly which card it was. We're just putting it where it's supposed to be.
Right. So no major panic and.
It's funny, when he boulder salvoed that sludge crawler a couple of turns ago, I wonder if it was to make sure Ingest was not going to mess up his Conduit of Ruin. May have been why he chose the sludge crawler.
Ah. Okay.
Excuse me while I put Devastator on top of my deck. Please don't hit me with sludge crawler.
Okay.
Adam Jansen's still playing his land, even though he has the ability to rummage. Because he's only got access to 8 mana. He needs more.
Just the 8, yes.
Oh, look, Chandru and Eldrazi Devastator.
Off the top of his library.
Imagine
no
that.
less.
Keyword big.
Yeah, you see, now Jansen's looking pretty outclassed.
Yeah, I mean, I think he
Like,
sees
really?
Ulamog as his answer to this and has to play for it. So he's playing his lands out.
Mm-hmm.
You don't see.
So, end of turn. Let's see. So, okay, it's ping, not rummage. So he's not in the market for actually just actively seeking
Yeah,
out
he
land.
doesn't have a card that can kill a Devastator. His removal is Grasp of Darkness.
Okay.
You know, Unnatural Endurance as a trick in combat. Doesn't really have any just one,
Just
you know,
reach
bang,
out.
kill it.
No Oblivion Strikes.
Right. Land. Is he holding the Ulamog? I haven't really seen what his last card is, but the fact that he's not rummaging at all would assume to say he cares about that card.
Sure.
And the fact that he's playing land, this could be. I mean, if it's Ulamog, he's 1 land away, right?
As a reminder, players, if you would like to drop prior to the second draft, you will receive a free on-demand event coupon. You can also turn that coupon
Flameseeker, Commando, Toll Collector, Channeler. That all sounds reasonable. Devastator. Yeah, that sounds even more reasonable. Or unreasonable, which is, of course, what you want in Magic.
Take it. Okay, now I know continuing to ping. Is this gonna be land Ulamog or Chagon? Is that actually what's gonna happen here?
That would be pretty sexy.
It was a land. Pretty sure that was a swamp I saw a flash of.
We're either going to be very excited or very disappointed quite soon. Don't try peering around the corner of the screen to look. Don't do it. Pass the turn.
Defending some other less cool card.
And remember we said a long time ago that there was a Fire Mantle Mage in hand for Sean Peterson? Well, there still is. And he is heading towards the kind of width that means that Fire Mantle Mage is going to be very powerful, possibly even to the point of game. Here we go. Fire Mantle Mage trigger. And coming in, Peterson? I think you are.
Yeah. Turn a bunch of stuff sideways. Just these 4.
Sounds like the opening to some hideous Zendikar joke, you know. A Flame Seeker, a Toll Collector, a Commando, and a Channeler walk into an Eldrazi Devastator.
If you are still playing and do not have a judge at your match, please raise your hand and call for one. Once again, brand new players, that is time in round 12.
This is a tough spot.
As a reminder, we will be drafting prior to the next round. If you would like to receive...
Yeah, this is abysmal news for Jansen.
You need to drop prior to the draft. Once again, this is your last opportunity to drop.
One of the things that people have had to reevaluate now that we're into OGW, followed by BFC, is how do they value the Battle for Zendikar allies as if they are one-shot deals? Like, you know, Fire Mantle Mage. Let's imagine I don't have any other allies. How do I feel about just going on one turn? I'm going to have this ability, because a deck like this doesn't have a lot of allies. It isn't necessarily going to trigger a bunch. It's not dedicated in any way.
Sure.
And it's like, yeah, how highly do I value this one-shot deal? How highly do I value a Resolute Blade Master that is most of the time not going to happen? Just it arrives. Here's a thing.
I mean, that came up in BFC as well.
Right.
I actually think, I mean, for me, the thing that has changed more in Oath is that you're able to repeatedly trigger them more often. I think they've actually, in general, those cards have gotten better.
Okay.
Because there just are more allies. The allies are just significantly denser. All right, Scion sacrifices his life for Stalking Drone. That creature gets pumped. Oh, he was
Grasp.
holding Grasp of Darkness the whole time. That's what he's been slow rolling.
But he is grasping at straws. Because this is...
Yeah, I mean, look, he
So-
survives the turn.
Right.
Devastator hits him.
Which is great.
Nothing else does. Couple of double blocks. Stalking Drone. Yeah, kills the Commando.
Super Sunday Series.
Rot Shambler grows.
Up in this round.
Wow. Channeler
Finish your turn.
and 8 lands. What's on top of the deck, Adam Jansen?
Go on.
What's
We
on top of the deck?
do it. No.
No?
No.
Jason Cho. Jason Cho in the main
Oh.
It began with the U. That was
Close.
as close. That was as close as it got.
Yeah, he goes through his deck, shows him what he was drawing for.
Unnatural Endurance, not quite the same as Olamog's The Ceaseless Hunger.
Sean smiles and nods.
I'm prepared to say. All right, so that is the story here. Sean Peterson advances. Adam Jansen misses out, but is still very much alive. That's the story of round 12 here at Grand Prix Vancouver 2016. Welcome back to the booth. Rich and Randy here with you. We watched round 12. We didn't see Ulamog. We saw Unnatural Endurance. It was nowhere near as cool a story. But hey, you know, we don't make it up. We actually just wait and see what actually happens on the battlefield. Matt Costa is still alive because he's a winner that round over Paulo, Vitor, Damo, Rosa. Might have been a concession in there because, you know, Paulo knows about what's going on for
Was there?
Costa. And I'm not sure. I just heard that